Today we're going to run down Bellator 297, Nemkov versus Romero. I'm uploading a ton of these prediction videos this week, ladies and gentlemen, given that I am away this weekend for one of the biggest weekends in martial arts throughout the summer. I still wanted to give you guys a little bit of content and provide you guys with my thoughts. Now, as you know, I'm a way bigger UFC One Championship, hell, even KSW fan compared to Bellator and the PFL. So these aren't expert picks. These aren't expert opinions. These are my thoughts as we quickly run down this card. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't know much about either of these guys, but based off their records, based off what they've done in the promotion, this is who I would be confidently picking them. And Shane and I, we got some beer bets to bang out here. So Shane, my buddy, one of our exclusive members, follow along and let's still get the beer bets going this weekend. All right, let's start off the card. 15 fights this card. Whew, this is gonna be a doozy, folks, but we'll speed through it. We'll speed through it. We ain't gonna be ragging the puck here. Cody Law against Edwin Chavez is the first fight on the prelims. Cody Law, 6-2 in his pro MMA career. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He's training out of Coconut Creek, Florida, 28 years old. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now. Trains at American Top Team and Matt Factory Wrestling. 4 KO, TKO, 1 submissions, 1 decision. 6-2 in Bellator. Lost his last two to 8-5 guy and a 9-3 guy, Chris Lencioni. That one was a very close fight. I actually remember watching that one together with you guys and was undefeated up until he fought James Gonzalez, unanimous decision at Bellator 282. I mean, look, we say in the UFC, don't leave it up to the judges. I know it's commission-based, but there just seems to be crazier outcomes in Bellator. 5-0 on the amateur scene. He is the huge favorite here, but again, these are Bellator odds, so like dumb them down a bit. Dumb them down back to reality. All you folks who bet. He's up against Edwin Chavez, who's 6-4 in his pro MMA career, only 2-3 in his last 5 fights, and he's the plus 300 underdog. 1 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 4 decisions, 2-1 on LFA, 2-1 on Fury. I mean, man, if you even lose 1 on Fury, I'm done. I can't stand Fury. It's my least favorite regional promotion. The regulars on this channel know. Lost to Josh Marsh, 6-3 guy when he's a 6-3. Okay, no shame there. Lost to a 10-5 guy in Spartel. However, both these promotions are kind of meh. 8-3. Being 8-3 guy when he was 5-2. I mean, he's okay, I guess. And he back fought in LFA and Fury, the two notable promotions early in his career. Against a 0-1 guy, 0-2. I'm picking Cody Law to win this one. Next, we got Jordan Newman against Matthew Perry. Jordan Newman, not human, great nickname, and an unbelievable wrestler, ladies and gentlemen, out of the University of Wisconsin. Minus 1,000 favorites. And I know we've seen minus 1,000 favorites get knocked out in 30 seconds in the first round in Bellator. I don't think that's the case with this guy. I do not think that's the case with this guy. Not human. Like I said, 27 years old. He's undefeated, 5-0. Training out of Rufus Sports MMA, 5-0 in Bellator between 2019 and 2022 when he made the switch to MMA. Beat a 2-2 guy in his last 5 via rear naked choke. Beat a 2-0 guy when he was 3-0. Beat a 2-1. I mean, basically, it's almost impossible to fight cans right now, seeing that most people are at his level and early in their Bellator career as well. But he's able to get a crucifix back in 2021 to finish the fight. Just ground and pound here via hammer fist. A lot of unanimous decisions and or, what wrestlers seem to be able to catch on the easiest at rear naked chokes. Again, he's legit. He's fun to watch. He's going up against Matthew Perry. Care Bear Matthew Perry. Oh, my God. Plus 500 underdog. I mean, you're the underdog just because of your nickname, brah. 34 years of age. 2-3 in his last 5 fights. 1 KO, TKO, 3 submission, 1 decision. 4-2 in Coliseum combat. He beat Daniel Head in his last fight, who was 13-14 in combat. Okay, I mean, you should beat that guy. Lost to a 5-7 guy. Beat a 0-1 guy. Good job. CFA is a decent promotion. He beat a 5, he lost to a 5-0 guy. Sean Serrano. Yeah, I mean, this guy he's not very good. He's not very good, is the Care Bear. Going with not human Jordan Newman. Easy money, folks. Easy money. All right. Things get interesting next here, folks. We got Timur Kizriev against Richie Smulin. Minus 450 heavy favorite. He is undefeated. He's out of Dagestan. He's out of the same village as Islam Makhachev. 27 years old. Again, undefeated, 12-0. Let's see if his record is as padded as Khabib's. 3 KO TKO, 1 submission, 8 decision. Yeah, that's very Dagestani. 3-0 in ACB, 1-0 in Bellator, 1-0 in ACA. Okay, so came through the AC route. Got his first win in Bellator against a 42-13 guy via unanimous decision. Jesus, I mean, that guy's probably old as hell, Daniel. You think this guy could grapple? I mean, come on. It's not a bad test for the youngster in Bellator. Chokes and decisions, guys. Chokes and decisions. Head kick here against a 2-5 guy in Fight Night Global. But again, yeah, this guy, Dagestani. He's got the wrestling. He's got the sambo. He's probably got some hard shots too, but not the best and skilled stand-up game yet. Going up against a 31-year-old out of Ireland, Richie Smulin. He's 10-2-1 in his pro MMA career. He's on a 5-fight win streak despite being the plus 300 underdog. Both these guys on huge win streaks here. Training at SBG, 2 KO TKO, 5 submissions, 3 decisions. So he's no slouch on the ground either. 4-1 in Bellator, 0-1 in the UFC. He last fought a UFC fighter finale. Oh, right. This guy was on the show. I just finished watching this season, The Ultimate Fighter, where he lost to Luis Pena. Upon losing to Luis Pena via guillotine choke, Luis Pena had a decent career in the UFC before being cut because he's a piece of shit. You got 2 more wins. You got 2 wins right after that in Bellator. Lost to 4-3 guy when he was 5-1. Then he's gone on a great streak ever since, 5 in a row in both Bellator and RFP. RFP must not be the best promotion, even though he faced a guy who's 5-0, given that he got 3 finishes in RFP and both his Bellator appearances have been decisions, or both his Bellator wins have been decisions. I'm going with the favorite here. He's going to smother him. However, I'm rooting for the Irishman. Next, we have Carl Moore against Alex Polizzi. Carl Moore out of Ireland. This one's a pick'em, folks. Minus 105, 31 years old, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, 11 wins, 2 losses. Also at SBG, 2 KO TKO, 5 submissions, 4 decisions, 3-0 in Bellator, 4-1 in Cage Wars. So not a bad resume. Not a bad resume at all. He beat Lee Chadwick, Carl Albrechtsen. He beat a 14-3 guy, Rosansky. Via unanimous decision in Bellator. He got a split decision, rear naked choke, and unanimous decision his last 3 wins in Bellator. He left Cage Wars on a loss, but before then actually beat some decent opponents, 12-3, 6-4, and was in Venator FC before that, fought in Bama. Okay, so you know what? This guy's developmental career has been pretty damn good, fighting in Cage Wars, Bama, Venator, and now Bellator. Alex Polizzi, Easy Polizzi, he is 31 years old, so they're both the same age. He's American, fighting out of Las Vegas, minus 125, 10-2, so pretty much very, very similar records. Are 10-2, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He is coming off a loss, however. 3 KO, TKO, 5 submission, 2 decision. 4-2 in Bellator, 2-0 in LFA. His last loss came to Yoel Romero at Bellator 280 via punches. So he got TKO'd via Yoel Romero. No shame in that, despite Yoel Romero being an older guy. He is headlining this card. For then beat 7-3, 6-0, and 3-1 guy. Beat 3-1 guy straight armbar, as he should have finished him with ease. Split decision against a 6-0 guy. And rear naked choke against 7-3. Not bad at all. And in LFA, he has got some good wins there as well, against a 7-2 guy and a 1-0 guy when he was 3-0. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm going with, man, this one's a pick'em. It is. This one's a pick'em. I'm going with Carl Moore on this one. I'm going with Carl Moore. I just think he's better in the stand-up. Better in the stand-up, and I feel like this is going to stay on the feet. Looking at this next fight here, Archie Coughlin against Emmanuel Sanchez. 7-0. He is undefeated. He's 27 years old, and he is the huge favorite, minus 450. 5 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 1 decision. This guy likes to finish things on the feet. 4 wins via Bellator. In Bellator, he's undefeated in Bellator. 4 wins in Bellator, 2-0 in LFA. Beat a 5-0 guy in his last fight, 2-1 guy before then in Bellator. Knocked out the undefeated guy. I mean, this guy's been knocking out everybody in Bellator, seemingly. His last 3 fights, all 4 of his fights in Bellator, he's got finishes. Fought in Eagle FC as well. He fought a 4-1 guy in Eagle FC. And in his first 2 fights in LFA, 1 via elbow and arm triangle. So, I mean, this guy's he's only has 1 decision. It's absolutely insane. And he also fought in the amateur, where he went 3-0. Looking at his opponent, Emmanuel Sanchez, 20 wins, 8 losses, out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's 32 years old. He's a huge underdog here, plus 300. He's on a 4-fight losing streak, and he's only 1-4 in his last 5 fights. 1 KO TKO, 11 submission, 11 decisions. Yep. 12-7 in Bellator. He's been in Bellator since 2014. And in North American Fighting Championship, he was 3-0. He lost to... Oh, shit. He lost to Patricio Pitbull at his peak upon coming up a 3-fight win streak. He fought him again for, I believe it was for the title. So he lost to Patricio twice for them fighting the first time he was on a 4-fight win streak. Then he went on a 3-fight win streak. Mind you, beating 28-8 guy, 5-0 guy, and 40 wins and 11... Lost Patricio again, lost to Mads Burnell, lost to Jeremy Kennedy. Now, none of these guys are bad names. Obviously, Patricio, absolute legend. 15-3, 16-3, 11-8. And lost unanimously to all 3 of them. Maybe the fights were closer. I don't recall. But again, getting a little long in the tooth. Despite being a respectable fighter in Bellator, this is a big step up in competition for Archie King Coughlin. This could be a moment for Emmanuel Sanchez at 32 to humble the young up-and-comer. I think it's foolish not to pick against Archie Coughlin here, though. Despite Emmanuel Sanchez being a pretty damn good veteran in this promotion, I don't think necessarily Archie Coughlin is going to make easy work of this. I don't think if Archie Coughlin finishes this fight, it will even be in the first or second round. It'll probably be in the third. Having said that, though, I can't pick against the favorite here. We're going with the prospect, the undefeated Archie Coughlin. And my apology for butchering any of these guys' names. Again, Bellator's not one of my favorite promotions. Despite watching pretty much every card, it's not a promotion that I keep tabs on weekly. Next fight here, we have Norbert Noveni Jr. against Kamil Onisikchuk. Norbert Noveni, 6-0 in his pro MMA career. He's minus 250. He is the favorite. He's 23 years old. He's a young prospect too, coming out of London, England, but he's originally from Hungary. He's hungry. 1 KO TKO, 4 submissions, 1 decision. So he's finished 4 out of his last 5 fights, and he's 5-0 in Bellator. Won his last fight via overhand right to Andy Manzolo, a 26-9 guy, beat a 7-5 guy via triangle choke. Decision to probably his hardest opponent, who was a 6-1 guy when he was 3-0. Arm triangle choke, rear naked choke, rear naked choke. Yeah, he's a good prospect with some damn good grappling, very explosive grappling. 3-0 as an amateur. There's a reason he's the huge favorite here. But not, I guess, for Bellator standards, he's not the biggest favorite because he's going up against Kamil Onisikchuk out of Poland. He's got that legendary Polish power, and he's not the oldest guy either. 26 years of age. And look at the height difference. 6'3" against a 5'11" guy. I don't know the reach of Norbert. I imagine it ain't 74 inches. 3-2 in his last 5 fights is the Polish Kamil. 4 KO TKO, 1 submissions, 4 decisions. He's fought in ACA. He's also fought in Bellator before. He lost via Darce choke to a 13-2 guy in the second round in his Bellator appearance. Before then, did very good in ACA. He had a 2-fight win streak in ACA before joining Bellator. One win via head kick, 1 win via body kick, and then ground and pound. He's fought in Babylon and Seoul FC as well, going 1-1 as an amateur. This one's tough. I think if this stays on the feet, Kamil's going to absolutely destroy this guy. Given he is a Polish striker, it could go a hug fest. But I'm going with Kamil on this one. I think this is a decent underdog on Bellator. Now, again, Norbert, he could crotch sniff his way to a victory here, 100%. But I think Kamil is a dangerous striker, and I think this is a step up in competition for the 23-year-old. So I'm going with the underdog here. I'm going with Kamil Onisikchuk. Next fight on this heavy prelim card, as Bellator likes to do. Mike Hamel up against Shamil Nikayev. Mike Hamel, and this one's a pick'em, folks. This one's a pick'em, which means, hey, it might be a good fight because Bellator rarely has pick'ems. Magic Mike Hamel, 10-5 in his pro MMA career. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Out of Glendale, Arizona, he's 30 years of age. Training out of the MMA lab there in Arizona. 4 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 6 decisions, and 1 disqualification. He's 3-2 in Bellator. He's been with Bellator since 2020, and he's 0-3 in LFA. Oof. That's not good. Just shows that LFA, man, they're pretty damn good as far as their depth. I would say they have just as good depth as Bellator. Maybe not, are obviously not the best high-end competition. I digress. He beat Nick Brownie via head kick in the first round. 13-2 guy. Beat a 12-2 guy via split decision and a 12-5 guy via unanimous decision. Lost to Usman Nurmagomedov. No shame in that. No shame in that. And Adam Borks, who's a damn good fighter as well, and he took him to a split decision. In LFA, though, he lost to Bruno Souza. He lost to Jordan Winsky. I mean, he lost to guys who were better than him, I will say, but it's unfortunate to see you get 3 losses in LFA. 3-1 on the amateur scene. Looking at his opponent, Shamil Nikayev, the Chechen Wolf. Wait, is that not Chimaev? Fighting out of Russia. He is undefeated, and he has won 4 in a row. 0 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 9 decision. Oh, God. 7 wins in ACB, 1 no contest, and he's 1-0 in Bellator. Oh, my God. This is going to be such a boring fight, isn't it? Beat Lachinov, who was 10-2, beat a 35-6 guy in ACB, 14-5, 15-8, 23-6 was the no contest, beat a 7-1 guy, 43. I mean, honestly, hasn't crushed too many cans, to be perfectly honest. Fighting in ACB. Yeah, I'm going with the American on this one. USA. USA. You can't crotch sniff your way to a victory against a well-rounded guy. Next on the prelims here, we got Jaleel Wills against Ramazan Kuramagomedov. Jaleel Willis is 16-4 in his pro MMA career. He is the underdog, plus 275. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, and he's coming off a win here. 5 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 11 decisions. He is 4-2 in Bellator, 3-2 in LFA, and 1-0 in the World Series of Fighting. He beat a 9-1 guy unanimous decision, Kyle Crutchmer, in his last fight. Before he then lost to Saba Homasi, who's 15-10, and Muhammad Burkamov, who 14-1, lost in the first round via guillotine. Oof, I was gonna say no shame in that, but a little bit of shame in that. Before suffering that loss in Bellator 2021, he was on a 2-4-6 fight win streak in Bellator, LFA, and Summit. In LFA, actually beat Vinicius de Jesus, who's a solid fighter, who was 9-2 at that time. Looking at his opponent, though, Ramazan Kuramagomedov, minus 400 favorite here. Oh my goodness, undefeated, 10-0. 1 KO, TKO, 5 submissions, 4 decisions. At least he has 5 submissions. Thank the Lord. 3-0 in ACB, 1-0 in PFL, and 1-0 off Contender Series. However, never fought in the UFC. He's fought in Cage Fury as well. Know what I love about this guy? He's fought in UAE Warrior. This guy's fought in every single regional promotion. Eagle FC, UAE Warriors, Cage Fury, PFL, ACB. And yes, PFL, it is a developmental league. I will never put it at the same level as the UFC. Hell, not even Bellator. And that's saying something because I'm not a Bellator fan. 5-3 on the amateur scene as well. When he was in Cage Fury, when he was 7-0, he beat a 4-2 guy. When he was in UAE Warrior, he beat a 12-3 guy. Eagle FC beat a 29-17 guy, and John Howard. Contender Series, he beat Jordan Williams in Contender Series. Be a split decision, which is why he didn't get the call. Honestly, yeah, I understand why this guy's the favorite, and I am going to pick him to win, but Jaleel Willis at plus 275, again, I don't know how good his takedown defense, I don't know how good his defensive wrestling is. I'm going to be perfect to admit that, but just based on looking at their records, looking at how they developed, man, a half unit or some small here in Jaleel Willis at these odds, I don't think it's too bad. But my official pick is Ramzan Kuramagomedov. Moving up the card, and yeah, there's 3 prelims left. We got Pieter Buist against Gadzhi Rabadanov. Rabadanov is actually damn good. Pieter Buist, the Archangel, 17-6 in his pro MMA career. He's 35 years old. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, and he's the plus 400 heavy underdog. Oh no. 3-2 in his last 5 fights, although he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He does hold belts in several promotions, it looks like, though. 4 KO TKO, 6 submissions, 7 decisions, 3-2 in 1 championship, 3-0 in World Fighting League, and 3-0 in Fight Club The Hague. He's fresh out of 1 championship. He lost his last 2 fights in 1 championship unanimous decision to Ruslan Amibek, who's 17-2, and Timothy Natyukin, who is 13-4. So no shame there, especially losing in different in a fight that's scored as a whole versus the 10-point must system. He did get 3 wins, though, in a row in 1 championship upon leaving World Fighting League MMA. We beat a 20-7 guy, 7-0 guy, and a 22-8 guy. Only 2 of those coming decision, one of them split and one of them via knees to the ground. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. Fought Kunlun as well. Fought primarily overseas. His opponent, I mean, not a bad fighter. Not a bad fighter. Leaving one, coming to Bellator. I mean, one championship is my favorite promotion, and I'd argue it's the second best promotion, that of the UFC. As far as every promotion under the UFC, one championship is definitely the best one out of all those. Gadzhi Rabadanov, though, damn good fighter. We've seen him fight before. We've seen him fight before at St. Petersburg, Russia. He's the -650. Huge favorite here. 29 years of age on a 5-fight win streak. Or 5-0 in his last 5 fights. 19-4-2 is his record. 4-0 in Bellator, 1-0 in the PFL. He has wins over Bobby King, Koji Takeda, JJ Wilson. JJ Wilson was undefeated when they fought. Daniel Carey, 7-4. And he's fought in EFC as well. I mean, look, he's actually fought damn good guys in Bellator. I'll give him that. And not a complete can crusher on his way up. Not bad. He got humbled to a 19-4 guy when he was 8-2-1. Lost to a 4-0 guy when he was 5-1-1. Solid developmental career by this guy. And, you know, before he even became pro, he went 5-0 as an amateur. Look, I like Buist. I think he's a damn good fighter. You know, I'm obviously a little biased, and I love anyone who spent time in one championship, especially guys who put together 3-fight win streaks in one championship against decent opponents. But Rabadanov is too good. He's just too good. Rabadanov's my pick. And he's only 29 years old, man. He's only 29 years old. All right. We have Kyle Crutchmer against Bobby Nash here next. 9-2 in his pro MMA career. And again, my apologies for butchering any of these guys' names, folks. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He's coming off a loss. He's the pretty big favorite, though. -350. He's 30 years old, fighting out of California. 1 KO, 2 KO, 3 submissions, 5 decisions, 5-2 in Bellator, 4-0 in XFN. His last loss was to Jaleel Willis, who we just highlighted there moments ago via unanimous decision. Put together a 3-fight win streak in the promotion before then, beating a 12-2 guy, a 10-2 guy, and a 9-0 guy. 3 very good wins there, especially Oliver Enkamp. That is a damn good win. Lost to a 9-2 guy when he was 6-0. I mean, damn, he's a good fighter, man. Extreme Fight Night right to Bellator. I mean, not bad at all. More of a grappler. Doesn't put on the most exciting fights. 5 decisions, right? But hey, he gets it done. Looking at his opponent, Nashty, Bobby Nash, love the nickname. Huge underdog here is the Macomb, Michigan native, 33 years of age, 12-4 in his pro MMA career. He's on a 4-fight win streak right now, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. 7 KO TKO, my boy. 4 submissions, 1 decision. I love that. Only 1 of his wins have come by decision. 0-3 in the UFC, so he's got some UFC experience during 2017. 3-0 in XFC, 2-1 in WXC. All his last win, all but one of his last wins have been in XFC. We beat a 13-7 guy, 11-5 guy, 9-3 guy. Not bad. All of them finishes in the first round. Wow. Unbelievable. In the UFC, he lost to Li Jingliang, Danny Roberts, and Keenan Song. I mean, he should have beaten Keenan Song. Danny Roberts, that's not bad, even though he got knocked out there. And Li Jingliang, I mean, we've swooned over Li Jingliang before. He's a ranked guy at welterweight in the UFC. Enough said. That's a damn good opponent. And before then, didn't totally crush cans on his way up. I mean, if you look at, he was 3-1 when he fought 2-5 guy, whatever. But 4-1, he fought a 4-2 guy. He fought an 8-4-1 guy when he was 2-1. Not to be confused with Leon Rocky Edwards, but he's a pretty damn good fighter. Now, again, it must be because of the wrestling here that the odds are so crazy in favor for Kyle, or it's just Bellator. More of a grappler going up against a knockout artist. If Bobby Nash can keep this on the feet, he clearly has the power to win this one. Maybe that's not the worst pick to drop a little something on. Again, I don't know how good Bobby Nash's takedown defense is. I really don't. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know how good of a wrestler Kyle is if he can just blow through everybody. I don't trust Bellator odds. I feel like this one should be closer, but I am going to go with Kyle Crutchmer. Crutchmer. That is my pick. However, this is another one. Good value on a guy who's on a 4-fight win streak and a guy who's finished all but one of his fights. That's decent value, especially at plus 240. So I would probably moneyline Kyle Crutchmer and it going the distance and drop a little something like at half unit, maybe even less on Bobby Nash as he is a knockout artist. Next, the final fight on the prelims before we go to the main card. We got Wladmir Gouvea against Gabriel Sayeg. Heavyweights, and oh my goodness, this is really the featured prelim, Bellator. This is your friggin' featured prelim. All right, Blanca, Wladmir Gouvea, who I imagine is more of a jiu-jitsu guy, out of San Jose, California. He's 30 years old. 1-0 as a pro. 1-0 as a pro, trains at the AKA and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So this guy is a grappler through and through. 1-0 in Bellator. Standing TKO. Wow, but he's got some power as he defeated a 2-4 guy via TKO. All right. Going up against Gabriel Sayeg. 36 years old, 1-1 out of Wisconsin here. I imagine he's a grappler as well, given the rash guard picture here. 36 years old. Making his Bellator debut. He lost via strikes, won via strikes in North Iowa and caged aggression. He went, not a bad amateur career. He went 5-4 as an amateur, but he put together a 4-fight win streak. Yeah, there's not even odds on this one. Better camp. We'll go with Wladmir. Based off that alone. Trains at AKA and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, this guy's out of Wisconsin. I'm sure you're tough as nails, boy, but there's no odds. No one's betting on that one. Anyways, now we move on to the main card. This is what we've been waiting for. Daniel James against Gokhan Saricam. Heavyweights to end the prelims. Heavyweights to start the main card. Daniel James, the American Predator, 15-6-1 in his pro MMA career. He's 5-0 in his last 5 fights, and this one's near even as he's at -110. Slight underdog. 41 years of age. He's 6'6", and he has 80 inches of reach. Jeez. 10 KO TKO, 4 submissions, 1 decisions, 1 disqualifications. 4-2 in ACA. I love how this American went to ACA as well and fought there. Kind of like how Nate the Train went and fought in M1. 3-0 in Bellator, 2-1 in LFA. For a guy outside the UFC, not a bad resume. He is on a 5-fight win streak right now. 3 knockouts or TKOs in, I was going to say 3 first round, but one of them went to the second round. In ACA, 1 via elbow in the second round in Bellator, and hook and uppercut combo 30 seconds into the first round. Be a 10-3 guy. 12-2, 17-8, and 10-3 in his last 4 fights. That's not bad, guys. You beat a 10-3 guy and a 12-2 guy in his 2 first Bellator fights, and he's 41 years of age. That is amazing. So he's in his 40s or just like the end of his 30s here. That is amazing. Gokhan Saricam. 8-2 in his pro MMA career, fighting out of Istanbul, Turkey. He's 32 years of age. He's got the youth factor on him. He's 6'3", so 3 inches shorter, and he's given up 4 inches of reach as well. 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He did lose his last fight, though. 6 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 2 decisions. This guy likes to stand and bang. 2-4-2 in Bellator. He lost to Oleg Popov, who was 15-1 via unanimous decision in his last fight. Was on a 4-fight win streak before that in Bellator. Beat a 1-0 guy. 7-1 guy. That's a damn good win, especially beating him in the end of the first round. 13-6 guy, unanimous decision. You gotta finish them Kirils, dude. Near even. I'm going with the American on this one. Despite his age, he's got more power. And he's a little bit heavier. He's got the reach. I mean, he could pick Gokhan apart at range and probably still knock him out with a fucking toe kick, like we saw in one championship by Superbomb. Co-main event of the evening for the Bantamweight Championship as Patricio Pitbull drops to 135 to try to become the real Triple C in MMA, not just Triple C, 2 MMA belts and 1 gold medal. Not discounting that at all, but Patricio Pitbull will catapult himself into greatness in MMA history, not just UFC history, MMA history. You know what I mean? Like the big picture. If he becomes the triple champion in Bellator, he's going up against Sergio Pettis, who is no slouch. But this is absolutely insane. I wonder how the weight cut is going to affect him. 155 champion, 145 champion, and now potentially the 135 champion in Patricio Pitbull. But let's take a look at Sergio Pettis, the younger brother and a spitting image of Anthony Pettis. He's 29 years old, 22 wins, 5 losses. He's on a 5-fight win streak right now. He is the slight underdog at plus 150. Is the phenom. 4 KO TKO, 4 submissions, 14 decisions. So not the showtime of the Pettises, but a damn good fighter regardless. And look at this. Between 2013 and 2019, 9-5 in the UFC. 9-5 in the UFC, left the UFC on a winning record. 4-0, he's undefeated and the champion right now in Bellator. He lost to Rob Font too, is his last loss in the UFC. Lost to Henry Cejudo, man. He has wins over Joseph Benavidez, Brandon Moreno. I mean, like, he is the real deal, James Neal here. Beat Tyson Nam on his way out as well, and has gone an absolute run in Bellator, 11-4. Beat 11-4 guy, 13-3, 25-2, as well as a 29-3 guy. Be a spinning back fist. He beat Kyoji Horiguchi. That is a damn good win, despite him being a veteran, a legend in the sport. 29 wins, 3 losses. I know some of that's padded, but still. Going up against, like we said, legend in the sport, win or lose, to try to become the real triple C is Patricio Pitbull. But look at that. Minus 200 favorite. I think that's a little bit crazy. Maybe I'm overvaluing Sergio Pettis, but I mean, I just think that the weight cut itself, 2 divisions down from where he dominates. We'll see. We'll see. And also, he's 35 years old. Patricio Pitbull, he's an absolute legend. He is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, taking on the best of the best in Bellator. 12 KO TKO, 11 submissions, 12 decisions. He is the face of the Bellator promotion. 23 wins in Bellator, only 5 losses. Beat Kleber Koike Herbst in Bellator versus Rizin via unanimous decision. That was a fun fight. Beat Adam Borix before then. Beat AJ McKee in a close win, but a win against AJ McKee is a great win, and that was their rematch, as AJ McKee beat him last time via guillotine choke. Before his loss to AJ McKee, went on a 2, 4, 6, 7 fight win streak, beating, the best that Bellator can give him. 20-4 guy, 11-3, 23-1, 19-4, 17-3. Say what you want about Bellator, and I do. I talk about Bellator all the time. The top of Bellator, the 1% of Bellator, they have some very good fighters. Some like Sergio Pettis, who comes over from the UFC for maybe a little bit more money or just to be a champion in this promotion. And then those like Patricio Pitbull, like AJ McKee, homegrown talent here. And he's going for his 3rd belt. I hate to pick against a Pitbull. And this one, again, I don't hit me up with the angry comments being, how can you pick against Pitbull here? I'm going with Sergio Pettis. He's in his absolute prime, and I think that he is more motivated to take out a legend than Patricio Pitbull is to get that 3rd championship. And now you might be like, what are you talking about? 3rd championship, legendary status. I mean that this is going to be more of a big deal for Sergio Pettis if he wins than that of a Pitbull, just because, not to diminish the Triple C by any means, but just to say he's won before. He's accomplished so much. That feeling of almost elite victory, right? He's felt that before. I don't know if Sergio Pettis has felt that before, despite being the champion in this promotion, despite having some great wins and some great fights against legends in mixed martial arts. I think this will be huge for him. This will be huge for him in his resume. And I feel like that just spark of motivation is enough to it's enough for me to pick him. Let's be honest. And that's my narrative here. That's my reasoning. This is a damn close fight. This could be a pick 'em. I love Patricio Pitbull. He has every bit of talent, technique, experience to beat Sergio Pettis. I'm picking the underdog on this one, though. I'm picking the underdog this one as it's good value. Minus 200 favor for Patricio Pitbull. I think that's just a little bit, again, at this weight class, that's just a little bit too much, given that he's dropping down yet again. I'm going with Sergio Pettis. That might be the hottest take on this card. I don't care. That is my pick. Let me know in the comments if that is pissing you off. But again, nothing but love for the Pitbull brothers. I love Patricio. Main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. We got Vadim Nemkov against Yoel Romero. A lot of people saying Nemkov, one of the few fighters in Bellator who would absolutely destroy his competition in the UFC. In the light heavyweight division, Yoel Romero doesn't have to deal with those crazy cuts to middleweight here, finding a home in Bellator. The Soldier of God, Yoel Romero against Vadim Nemkov. 16-2 in his pro MMA career is Vadim Nemkov, and he's the huge favorite for a reason. He's the champion, and he's an absolute machine. He's 30 years of age. And 16-2 pro MMA record. 10 KO TKO, 3 submissions, 3 decisions. That's what we want to see. 8 wins in Bellator, 1 no contest. 2-2 in Rizin between 2015 and 2016. It's cool to see that a Russian developed in Rizin. Beat Corey Anderson via unanimous decision in his last fight. Absolutely dominated Corey Anderson, which is a hard thing to do. He's got wins against 10-1, 22-5, 27-5. Ryan Bader, who he won via beautiful head kick, where he won his belt. Ryan Bader was the light heavyweight and heavyweight champion for a little while in Bellator. Beat Phil Davis. Again, Phil Davis was damn good in the UFC, and he's still been pretty damn good in Bellator. Beat Felipe Lins, who was in the UFC. I don't know if he was cut as of last week. Humbled a little bit in Ryzen. Lost Yuri Prohaska and Albertson, who are two very good fighters. I mean, Nemkov is, again, one of those fighters. If you plopped him in the UFC's light heavyweight division right now, he would make an absolute run. But he does have a challenge here against Yoel Romero, huge fan favorite, the soldier of God. I love you, Mike. 15-6 in his pro MMA career. He's 46 years old, but throw that right outside the window. He, like Yao Ming, are two athletes that I'm convinced were created in a lab. One in Cuba here, Yao Ming obviously in China. He's the pretty big underdog, plus 240. Again, this is one of those where like Yoel Romero's got a crazy good chin. Yoel Romero's got power for days. This is one you could drop a little something on, half unit or less, just because it's good value. But again, I do think the odds are, they have the right winner. Should they be that separated? I don't know. Again, Yoel Romero, he is getting long in the tooth. He is on a 2-fight win streak, though. 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Training out of American Top Team. 13 KO, TKO, 0 submission, 2 decisions. 14-4 in the UFC between 2013 and 2020. Now, I feel like the scale was his biggest enemy, to be perfectly honest, folks, as he fought for the title twice, but not technically since he missed weight. 2-1 in Bellator, 0-1 in Strikeforce. He beat Melvin Manhoef in his last fight again. Melvin Manhoef was on his way out. He beat Alex Polizzi before that via 3rd round knockout. And Alex Polizzi was 10-1. He lost to Phil Davis, but again, split decision. It wasn't the most exciting fight. Phil Davis is a solid fighter still at this point in his career. And before leaving the UFC, he lost to Israel Adesanya for the title and Paulo Costa in one of my favorite recent middleweight fights, Paulo Costa against Yoel Romero. It was just such an entertaining fight, and both of them cracked each other on various occasions. That's what I'm saying. Like his last few wins, he lost to Phil Davis in Bellator, whatever. He probably should have beat him split decision. Maybe people are making the argument that he could have won that one. Israel Adesanya, boring ass fight, but Israel Adesanya beat him. Israel Adesanya is one of the best fighters in the UFC right now. Paulo Costa, damn good fighter in the UFC. Robert Whittaker, champion at that time, one of the best fighters in his division. Robert Whittaker was his other loss. Like, he didn't lose to scrubs at all in the UFC, guys. He beat Luke Rockhold, beat Ronaldo Souza, beat Lyoto Machida, beat Tim Kennedy. Mind you, that was a some controversy in that fight as well. Beat Brad Tavares, beat Derek Brunson, beat Ronnie Markers, and beat Clifford Starks. I mean, what a run he was on. And the Phil Davis loss, like, sure, he probably should have beat Phil Davis, but all his losses, they've aged well, let's just say, given how good they are. I'm still picking Vadim Nemkov here, but again, at plus 240, it's okay value. It's pretty good value to drop a little sum on the soldier of God, as the guy is literally a lab-grown athlete. He's 46. He doesn't look a day older. I look older than him, ladies and gentlemen. I look older than him. Vadim Nemkov is my pick for the main event of Bellator 297. Let me know what your picks are in the comments. Let me know what your best bets are. If you have any crazy parlays, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.